everybody. Y'all, we hit the button to go live, and StreamYard was thinking and thinking and reflecting and thinking. But we are here with James for the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Welcome in, James. We are going to be doing an early recap of Love and Hip Hop Miami. It is the holiday. Uh, I work with seniors in social work, so there's no use for me at work, y'all. So I'm trying to get things out the way. Also, be on the lookout later. We'll be on James's channel, I believe. Will we
Yes,
be on
tonight for Real Housewives of Potomac. Y'all, I finally have the courage to do it. That episode just wasn't hitting for me. I'm sorry, it just wasn't. But I think I know where I'm going to go and the direction I'm going to go. So we'll be on my channel tonight. It will be 8 o'clock, 7 Central Pacific time. I said Central
Did
Pacific
I say
time.
it right? Did I get the time right? We are in different time zones for those who don't know. And then you're doing Salt Lake City because it came on last night, but you're not doing that to the weekend.
No, I'm not doing that to the weekend. I do Bell Collective in Salt Lake City on Saturday and Love and Hip Hop on Sunday. I'm gonna keep that routine until I start the new job. So that's how I'm gonna do it.
Love and
Until
marriage, Huntsville. Look at his brain. He said,
what did I
"Love and hip
say?
hop, love and hip hop," because you looking at it. I
Oh,
like that.
Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Listen, it is a holiday week. We
It
are
is all
tired.
y'all. Look, I am not here. I'm here, but I'm with my best friend. I'm here, but I'm not here.
Oh yeah. This episode is episode 2, you guys, of the new season, season 6. The episode is titled Stand on Business. I need y'all to stop being such followers. Just because somebody famous say something, now everybody's talking about stand on business. I remember back in 2008, this happened when Keisha Cole's song Let It Go came out. Everybody suddenly was like, oh, you're out of pocket, you're out of pocket, you're out of pocket. Nobody never said it so much before. Now we're getting the same thing with stand on business. Y'all got to be more careful. You got to do better. But the episode starts, unfortunately, with Shay Johnson, aka Bucky from Flavor of Love 2, who did not win. Um, Basically, don't do that, James, because she didn't win. She sure didn't. The shade. I know.
Because it was just the way you said it. We didn't need to know that she didn't win. I mean, we were there.
That's the one person I would be ashamed to lose something to. Like real or
No, hell
fake.
no. Send me home as soon as possible. I
If
disagree.
Flavor
Send me home
Flav,
as soon as
if
possible.
he don't want me, there's something I got to address myself.
That's fine. He ain't got to want me. That's fine. That's okay. That is all right. We will be all right. We can still be friends. You all right with me. You ain't got to
Oh,
want me. I'm
he
sorry.
said
Not
you
him.
don't need to
Anybody else.
want me.
Now,
Anywho,
season
we're
2
not
is
talking about Shay's ex.
speaking of somebody who don't want her.
Shay and her toxic relationship. She's back with Fabo. Listen, I wish my husband keeps talking about because my husband's getting into cybersecurity, all of this. He really wants to give me like sound effects and stuff for the lives. And I felt like that would have been a great moment for violins. I'm just saying. But she wants to talk about her toxic relationship. She says they're the number one relationship in Miami. Shay, I know you I know that you don't care what the rest of us think and you're gonna call us broke or miserable, but Shay, no one takes this relationship seriously, including the person you're in it with, except for you.
I just never have seen somebody so thirsty for somebody else's husband. It is just really ridiculous when you really peel it apart, especially because that's not what she comes from.
Yeah. Yeah, that I think that's important. A lot of people seem to think that just because you come from parents that are married that you're going to end up that way, but not all marriages are equal. That's one. And then two, I don't even have nothing. You know
I
what?
was gonna say, I don't know. I was waiting for you to explain this away. Yeah, there's nothing to explain. She said,
Shay,
"I'm with my man. We together. He didn't buy me nobody else's Tesla. He wasn't scheming like
if
y'all
he
thought he
didn't
was."
buy you nobody else's Tesla, then show a receipt.
Right.
Show me the receipt.
Show
I
me the
want to
title.
see.
Post the
I
title,
want to
and just
thank
blur out
you.
the address.
I want to see the title. I want to see that the title is in your name Because if it's in Fable's name and he's legally married and he's got a fiance, that it's not yours. It's stolen. That's how it is. When you date a married man, I don't care if he's separated legally. If you date a married man and he gives you a car in his name, that car belongs to him and his wife, and you
Community
have the
property.
privilege of driving it. And that is the case. That's just how I feel. And the only time that changes when you're still married is at the moment you file for divorce. That's when it changes in the court of law. Because then what you accumulate after you file for divorce is yours generally, if you got a good attorney. Hell, if you got an attorney.
If you
But
got an attorney general, yeah.
I just can't with Shay. She thinks that people are hating on her relationship. They're not. So we learned that Shay has not, she claims her mom can't get it together, but she has not spoken to her mother since the last season, since the last time we saw Fable disrespect her mama. And speaking of last season, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. You say your mama won't accept Fabo. You say that Fabo has apologized to her several times. Shay, do not try to gaslight us. We
Yeah.
watched this man disrespect your mama. Now, do I think that Bucky's mom is a saint? No, I don't. I think that Shay is the way she is partially because of her mama. Not just partially, heavily, especially with the accepting a man that's cheating. But at least Shay's mom was married to her father who cheated on her and she forgave. At least that was her husband that she
Yeah,
went through that with.
and
Shay's husband was somebody else's husband. There's a
where
difference.
she lost me at, it was like, regardless of whatever your mother said or not, that doesn't mean he get up out of his seat and chest up on her as if he can actually put his hands on her. I think that there's a difference here. Was she out of line? Maybe. I don't know. I don't really remember what the mom said. But I do know, and I do remember heavily, that he stood up out of his seat and chest up on her until people had to
He
intervene.
disrespects the mom when the mom asks for an apology.
Right.
He expects the mom to basically either kiss his ass or butt out entirely, and that's unrealistic. Fabo is wrong to disrespect her mother. However, it's Shay who is allowing this.
That's
Like,
because
my,
she's so thirsty for him, and that's where the thirsty comes in for a man. The fact that you're willing to excuse inappropriate behavior just to say you have this man next to you at expense of your mother, that's where it becomes sad. That's crazy.
I'm starting to think that Shay was probably good with her mom until her daddy started cheating, and then Shay's mom decided to stay with the daddy. I feel like she has some type of childhood
Well,
resentment or impact. But what I will say is Fabo clearly disrespected this lady. She's not going to be able to change our opinion of that. What is really strange is why can't you check him? Because you claim you're not speaking to your mama because your mama's tripping. But just last season, you were saying that he's the cause of your abortion and you wanted to be done with him. Or not your abortion, your miscarriage. Because she had that miscarriage and she went to have that procedure. And she hollered at him saying, he is the reason that this happened to me because he was stressing her out with all of his BS. Now you're back with him. He's disrespecting your mother and you're letting him cause a rift between you and family. Shay is doing what Iyanla accused her of when she stormed out of that fucking
yep,
show. And
yep.
what I mean by that is when stuff gets hard or people tell the truth to Shay, she runs away or she fights you. Fight or flight in true form. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
I'm
Now,
tired of VH1 glorifying this for her as if this is something that she needs to be proud of. And there's something that you said I want to go back to about how she resents her mother, or something that you said about her mother's situation. I would have agreed with you had not every man that she has been with on national TV didn't already belong to somebody else before she stepped into it.
but that's the thing, resentment in psychology shows in different ways, what a lot of people don't understand. So you could have that resentment towards someone and then still choose somebody who's
Who
not
belong to somebody
available.
else?
Yes, that is actually very, very, very common in counseling. People will choose people who are unavailable because they have less of a fear of being betrayed or losing the person. Because then, in their mind, when something goes wrong, they can go back to the excuse of, well, they weren't available anyway internally. It's like introspection, but with like a sick
Okay, I
twist.
see what you're saying with introspection.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say that. I was going to say that's introspection then, because then initially I get it now. Because I was like, I don't think she resents her, because if she didn't, she wouldn't pick available men, like unavailable men. She just wouldn't do it. And this is a pattern. This is not
That's
like
the
something she did once
difference.
or
That's the
twice.
difference with working in the field and counseling and things of that nature and having the basis because psychology teaches you about the mind, but then the counseling gets to certain specifics with people. And
Hmm.
Shay, I think that's why she ran from Iyanla because Iyanla has counseled people for so long. And I feel like Iyanla quickly saw that. But Shay just seems to always be focused with preventing pain so much so that she ends up in pain, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
I
does.
don't know if I worded
Absolutely.
that
I
right.
understand
But
that very
she's
much.
just the hot mess. But something you said I'd like to piggyback off. VH1 is definitely aware of how they are making her look. I also think that they have made a fool of this lady, but she's also helped them to do that. And I
I
don't
was gonna
think
say she ain't got nobody to blame. I guess the money's worth it. I guess the money is worth it. I don't know. For me, my image would be worth it before the money. Like you're not gonna make me look like no fool on no national TV, no matter what stupid decisions I'm
well,
making. Just
James,
glorify it
you
as
have
if it's just
sense.
beautiful.
You have sense and a
I
strong
know.
mother that
Yes.
communicates well. Shout
Yes.
out to James's mama.
Yes.
You have sense and a parent that communicates well, and that has given you sense. You know what I'm saying? Shay, she does not have sense. You would never go and date a roach.
No.
You just wouldn't do it. You're
No.
never the type that's I'm gonna lower my standards so I could get to this or get that. You've never been that type, and I actually genuinely respect that about you because a lot of people will lower their standard just to get something they want.
I just feel like no, if anything, the standard goes up more by person that I date. So whoever I date next is going to have more stability, more intuitive, like intuition with themselves than the last one because that's what he lacked. So I always make sure I pick apart in my relationships what the person lacked to know that that's not something that's going to work for me. I wasn't aware of it at the time when I chose this
See,
individual,
Shay does not do that. She sees what the person lacks and the problems
and
with
she
them,
runs right to
and
it.
she leans into that shit.
Yes, it's
And
so
then
weird.
you're like, why are you leaning? And then she tells us we're all broke and miserable. So it's one of those things where it's like, it,
Hey, if that's look, Shay, let's keep it real. If I'm broke and miserable because I don't want to look for food for a couple 100,000 a year, then fine, I'm broke and miserable. I won't
she's
be
too
for
old
long.
for this,
But
James.
that's for yeah. But it
She's
is what it
too
is.
old. She's too old for this. What pissed me off in this conversation with Shay, you guys, because we got a little sidetracked. We don't like her, neither of us. It's extremely passionate dislike. Shay is upset that Amara La Negra had an issue with Fabo and her picking up her daughters on the trip that she was not actually invited on while away from Amara in the middle of them beefing. Let me explain something, Shay. If somebody did that to Shajaya, you would be pissed off. I don't
Definitely.
like when parents do this. I could do this to your baby, but if you do this to mine, it's going to be a war. I don't like when people, like to put that double standard and then stomp and ensure that that happens. Like it's not okay. Nobody knows Fabo. If that was Shay who picked up the baby and only Shay, I'd be like, Amara, you're tripping. You was close to this girl. What the problem is? Like most
And
people
Shay
don't
knew the babies
understand.
when they were born and stuff. It wasn't like she
Exactly.
had no idea of your kids.
But
So I
Fabo
understood that too. But
Fable
Fable, no,
picking up
that
them
was wrong.
kids when there's so many mysteries about him, whether he's married, where he's really from, what's going on in Milwaukee. He acts like he could be abusive behind closed doors. I said what I said is alleged. Like he does all of these things that I wouldn't want him touching my kids either. And I don't have kids, but if I did have a child or kids, don't pick up my fucking child if I don't know you like that. I don't give a damn if you dating James, if you moved in with James. James could touch my baby and run up to my baby, even if we not in a good place. But I don't know. If I don't know you personally, don't touch my mother. You
Well,
know
one, it's
what?
a transfer of energy. Children are pure in innocence. Transfer of energy. That man don't come with great energy. So I wouldn't, even on that standpoint, I wouldn't want you transferring your energy into my child by holding them. No, I completely 100% agree with that. I just not. I'm not in that space, y'all. Children are so innocent. And it's like for you to think that that was okay, Shay. Even you just being a person, a woman, a mother yourself, for you to think that that was okay, that is insane.
When she responded that way, I was like, okay, I don't trust Fabo. And there's different types of abuse. They don't have to put their hands on you. They really don't. And I think that Fabo may be doing the other kind and not putting his hands on her because the fact that she could ignore this is But then no shade, but with a lot of shade, Shay is not the best human by herself either. She's one of those people who kind of does fight low to the blow. And I'm
Mm, I think it's a different. I think someone. I have to send it to you. You have to remind me to send. Someone was sending me this blog about this. It was a 12-page paper about how this woman felt like during sex she was getting abused physically by her partner, and she didn't resonate that with sex originally. She was just thinking, oh, he's just rough. And it wasn't until she went to the doctor for, her checkup, you guys, we women know what that is. And she was bruised horribly. And so they actually did an investigation because the doctor was like, this is not normal. This is not normal at all. Like, what is going on? So I'm not trying to equate Shay and Fable to that kind of abuse, but it just reminded me of that article that I read about how some men will take it out in sex, where you may not look at it as abuse, but depending on what your body sustains after the encounter, it can be considered.
yeah, listen, I'm all for the sex getting a little intense, but don't be leaving me with no wounds, god damn
Yeah, like no bruises, and that's why I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute, what did we just? Because if I don't notice no bruises after we did, what the hell did you just do? Why do I have this? Why is this
it.
here? I didn't put that there.
I didn't put that there. Now, we also learned that Shay's going to invite her brother MJ to an event that is happening for Florence Oluche. Um, she treats her fam like shit, but she expects her family to show up for her. That's what I got from this. MJ gonna stand with his mama. We know he is. He's a mama's boy. He don't want to pay his own rent, so we know that he gonna stand with his mama. Okay, what? It's true, James. It's true. It's true. Unfortunately, he has proved everything that we learned about him when he premiered on Love and Hip Hop dating a martyr to be true. I ain't seen him do nothing. I ain't seen him promo a song. And we have told you,
Is
MJ,
that what he
that you,
does?
yes, he sings and he's actually a really
Oh, I didn't
talented
know that.
singer.
Okay.
He's a talented singer. He makes good money and, or not good money, he makes good music. He is attractive as hell if he take that stupid hat off. I don't want to see him in that hat.
Honestly, I disagree. I'm scared of what it looks like underneath the hat, so keep it on.
He's taken it off
Let it,
before.
okay,
And
I
then
have to go
he's
back.
got a
I have to go back
regular,
and watch the thing because I don't remember the hat ever
he's
being on.
taken the hat off a few times before. He's got a nice haircut. He was fine without the hat. That's why I was like, okay, MJ, why you got that hat on? That hat belongs on a
Right.
gay man or an old uncle who's getting ready to go to the Sunday service. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I can't see him in that. It's not attractive. I need MJ to stop with that hat. But we'll see what happens with it. We're gonna move on because we just spent 18 minutes talking about Shay, but we don't like her, so I'm sorry. Um, and she looks stiff in this photo. I said what I said. Now, Marlon and Flo are in their home because they are not legally separated. They are still married. So that is community property. That is their home. She's in her $2 million mansion that she's renting. Now, Marlon claimed he's trying to win his wife back, even though he ain't lost her because there's been no filing of divorce. They're still living together. They're still sleeping together. Just is what it is. Now, Florence tells her side of things to Marlon as it relates to her meetup with Amada in the last episode. Now, we saw Flo get up and throw a drink on Amada La Negra first. And Amada responded by throwing a drink at her and then taking off, as she should have. You throw a drink in my face, I'm going to throw a drink right back at you with the glass and smack you in your face. I'm going to try and get you. Okay? Because that's assault. Throwing a drink, spitting, all of that is assault. Now, Flo is trying to make it seem like to Marlon that she's innocent and she was attacked. But that's when I said, you know what, Flo, you're stupid and you're showing your hand on TV. They better have a reunion for this because I think this cast needs a reunion more than the Atlanta class. Atlanta's pretty dead. We don't believe them no way, even if there was a union. But Flo, you need to be checked. You are acting innocent. And something Eliza Rain says later in the episode rang very true about Flo. And we'll get to that later. But she definitely is trying to play like she's innocent. She also brings up the fact that Amada said that Marlon was flirting with her. Marlon, of course, says that Amara La Negra lied on him and that she was flirting with him, which now I kind of might believe just because one thing about it, Marlon to say, no, I'm not flirting with this person, but he'll be flirting with them and they'll be flirting with
I
him
don't
back.
know. I don't put nothing past either one of them personally.
Amara, we learned Alan was married and she knew and did not care.
Yes.
So
And we know that Marlon is married, and Amara probably wouldn't care if he threw it at her. But at the same time, anybody that's been to sleep with somebody's sister, his wife's sister, I can't trust you. So it was both of y'all. That's how I'm gonna put it.
and Marlon pissed me off. This fool gonna say to her, you almost got your ass whooped, Flo. You should have been here with me.
She had every right to throw that. I wouldn't have threw food on my floor personally. That's not how I get down. But we definitely would have had some exchange of words, and you would have been running about that house by the time I got done with you.
I don't think that she done let he slept with her sister and got away with it. He trying to win her back right now for something else. But
That
he
house.
slept
That
with her
let me tell
sister and
you,
got away with it. So I don't think Flo is Rashida in training. Okay. And in fact, she's almost done with her training. She's getting ready to graduate the academy. I'm trying
that's
to tell y'all.
that's a crazy university to go to, Flo. I can't believe you would want to go to the Rashida School of Staying with Your Husband.
I liked when Jessie Wu was on Love and Hip Hop. She came off rough and she kind of did too much. It was overly emotional. But we know that in real time, she does a lot for the community, especially the Haitian community. I wish that someone like her, who was a part of that community, was still on this show because Flo's kind of like, in my opinion, making a mockery of marriage in the community. Just her, my mom in our community, you stay if they cheat, and she's not showing the most positive light. I'd like to see other parts of her community other than her talking about accepting a man doing her just horribly. This is deeper than cheating, in my opinion, but
Very
I'm
true.
not going to spend too much time on Flo. Do you want to add anything?
No, we can move on.
So we see Zoe. She finally brings up her family. Zoe Brinks came on this show basically homeless, ended up moving into her boyfriend and who's now manager's home and all of these things. One moment, you guys. Sorry, it's Thanksgiving. I got all these people trying to get plates, but I'm not letting nobody in my house this year. James's face. I'm not cooking for all those people. I got a number and that's it. If you didn't catch me, you didn't catch me. Now, Estelita comes by to see Zoe Brinks. I don't know why they're pushing Estelita on us, but okay. Zoe basically explains that things are better with her family, which I'm glad to hear. She has her boyfriend managing her because her last manager, she says, wanted her to kiss Big D's ass. I thought that you made peace with Big D and he said you could release the record with the City Girls. But honestly, Zoe, you can out rap both City Girls easily. I get why it would help you promo yourself, but they're not even a group anymore. They broke up. So stop relying on other features to get you big. There's so many artists that have big name features. Keep putting the work out there. Zoe's actually talented, in my opinion, lyrically. She just has a lot of growth to do as an artist as it relates to her attitude and how she performs, in my opinion. But that's music review me coming out. Eliza Rain comes out also. They all discuss Shay and Shay accusing Estelita of sex trafficking. Everything they said about Shay, I did agree to. Um, but Eliza points out something important from this scene because they didn't really talk about Nug. She says that Flo likes to throw rocks and hold her hand or hide her hand, which I agreed with. And Eliza Rain, you have to be good at reading people to trap men as your baby daddy. You just do. You can say certain things, but you got to be good at reading people to do that. And you also got to be smart to go on the real estate. I stand by what I stand by. That stuff is not easy. And Eliza does all of that. And I think that she pointed out something that's very true. As she goes into
Mm-hmm.
detail and says Flo will start some shit and then
Yep.
somehow put her sister in it to have her sister handle it. And then it becomes this big thing and she looks innocent. And I was like, that's absolutely true. And I'm tired of Flo.
I'm tired of it too. And that was a great observation because I felt like that as well. I felt like she uses Gael as the centerpiece to disrupt all ends of the table. She just really does do that. And it's like, man, okay, if you don't have a problem, don't sick your sister on it. And the fact that your sister has came on the show and caused all of this rift, like, y'all, this is an avalanche of shit that Gael has caused. You sleeping with people's men and women. You sitting up there every time you go somewhere with somebody. You always pick out someone and then send your sister out to attack them. It's like we see it, Flo. We see it very, very clearly. Just like when you, oh, you ain't there yet. Okay, we'll wait till we get there.
But yeah, we do. Flo's ain't nobody. We know what Flo's doing. Flo's
Yeah, we
about to
know what
start
Flo's doing.
stuff.
We can clearly see it.
Now we see Snoop, that is Trina's brother, who looked just like her in the face.
He
They got
do.
the
That was
same
scary.
bags
When he
under
got
the
his
eyes
teeth done,
and
I said, "Oh
everything.
God,
It didn't help.
okay, God,
Uh,
strong jeans."
he meets with Hot Topic. Hot Topic and Trina's brother Snoop discuss Swerve, who is her current husband. Hot Topic claims that she wants to make sure Swerve is really for Trina. And I want to know why the hell she cares so much. You're supposed to be an event promoter, a publicist, whatever the hell it is that you do. Is Trina your only client, Hot Topic? Because that's what it's given. Um, and why is it your business? Now, if this was Trina's closest friend, fine, I get it. But we just met you. Hi, Shayna. She says,
Hi,
"Is this season
Shayna.
any good?" After
It's
this
starting
episode, it
now.
got okay, but
Yeah.
it's hard to tell what's real from fake. How you feel
Well, and
about it?
not only that, it seems like they're putting all the drama up front now, so it can carry on throughout the entire season. I hate when shows do this because we
Mm.
get exhausted from talking about this.
She said we get exhausted. Hell,
We do.
but
It's stupid.
Hot Topic, I felt like was nosy as hell. With that, to call her brother to talk to her when you had a business relationship with her that's newer seemed extra. But she says there's all these allegations and things out there about Trina's man. Listen, Trina has a history of choosing men that are not good for her. This is just a fact. Trina can be the biggest boss, the baddest, you know what, or baddie, as you young people used to say. But y'all ever notice all them baddies y'all love is all single or alone? I'm just saying. You can be a boss and be the most attractive thing, and all of this and still not do so well in your love life. I'm sure the Swerve is shady. We don't know his name. We don't know his age. We don't know anything about him. He came out the blue. And I think it's always a red flag when someone changes or becomes entirely unavailable based on them entering a new relationship. Some distance is okay. Like a lot of people don't see me every day or as much as they would like to. Or for those who knew me before getting married, they definitely don't see or hear from me as much now that I am married. That makes sense. But then when you change as a person, change up, or are only concerned about the person, going off every time someone gives an opinion about who you dating, which Trina does, that's when it gets to be like, okay, that's a little bit of a red flag.
Yeah,
Uh,
but and to some extent, I agree with that, but then I don't because in terms, you never changed your relationship with me when you got married.
yeah.
And vice versa, when I got my relationship, I never changed my relationship with you. Actually, we got closer. So I felt like, to me, I think what it is that her desperation to not be alone is really the cause of. So she's putting all of her focus and energy into it because she doesn't want to be alone. That's how I feel. I feel like Trina doesn't want to be alone. That's just
Mm.
really what it is. I feel like
You're
she's at a
probably
certain
right.
age where, you know, she needs to put more focus, and she's always focused on careers, always focused on the relationships outside of her, but she realizes throughout that she has always been alone. So I feel like she's putting all of her focus because maybe she has in the past and it never left her anywhere. But I feel like Hot Topic was keeping things off camera,
Yeah.
like I feel like she was keeping it off camera to not expose anything, and I think that's why it looks weird. I feel like there's a lot more that she knows that she's just not going to say on camera.
I mean, she already said that he got a potential maybe baby. We can't figure out where he's from. He's an opportunist. And then we heard her talking with Bobby. So she said a lot. There's probably more also.
Well, she said she went
I
to high
just
school
don't
with him, so
I just don't
I feel like
feel
she
like
knows something more than what she's leading on.
now that's the part that's a red flag for me. Hot Topic says she went to high school with this guy, and we know that she is younger, right, than Trina.
Yeah,
So, like much younger than Trina. So, if she went to high school with this man, even if she was a freshman and he was a senior, and it was just for a year, Like
Mhm.
he's much younger than Trina, so I don't trust him either. But I don't think it was Hot Topic's place to do that. She seems to be talking to everybody about Trina's relationship except for Trina. Like you done brought this to so many different people, from Bobby to the brother to other people at the event who were there who could hear. At what point are you going to talk to Trina? Like, you know, you'd be pissed off if I was going and talking to everybody about your relationship, but I'm not coming to talk to you. Like, mm-mm. He
Wait,
is in
what?
his 20s.
Is he?
He is.
He's
That's why I'm
older than
saying
that.
Hot Topic said that she went to high school with Trina's husband. Hot Topic, when she came on last season, she is younger. She's somewhere around Zoe's age, and they are somewhere in their like mid 20s, early to mid 20s. So even
Oh
if he was
wow.
older than her in high school, we know that Trina
Is
back in
40.
99, 99, 2000, okay, back when she was popping, she was already an adult. So we know Trina is well over 45 at the very least. And so to be with this
Mm.
man, that does look a little eh. Now, even if the boy is like, oh, whatever, I want to be with her, for Trina to be so old and to be willing to date somebody so young, it thank you, Shayna. She know better, but she doesn't know better because she married him.
I
What
feel like,
about
okay,
Ray?
here's the thing. I feel like if Hot Topic were to go to Trina with all these concerns, all Trina gonna do is deflect, talk 50 miles per hour, and try to make it seem like it's something that it isn't. Like that's just what it is. Like I just feel like Trina's gonna deflect. That's why you
That's
can't go to her.
true. But if you doing this because you came, you can't, you claim you care about her, then you should at least give it a damn try. She
Oh, when
said
she
what
filed for
Trina
divorce,
did
trust me, she
say.
gonna learn real quick.
Yeah,
I
because
sound
it
like I
ain't
sound
gonna
like
last.
I sound like
It-
Heather Gay, but at the end of the day, Trina, why you ain't got no prenup? You have
mm,
shit to lose. So why don't you have a prenup?
Especially in the South of all places.
All right,
Now, if
you
she
all
was
we
in
need is a good year
California,
with you.
if she was in California without a prenup, even without a prenup in Cali, a lot of times, depending on how long you married, they'll be like, you get to leave with what you came with at the very least. But you in Florida,
You
of
in
all
Florida, all he needs
places.
is a year because basically a year is change of lifestyle. That's what they consider a year's change of lifestyle. Basically, you've taken this
Mhm.
person out of their stability of what they know and gave it something different. So now you need to maintain that for at least a year. So that way, if he does decide to get out of it, he is equal. That's what they're gonna do. I know, of course.
Child.
I know that's how they work. They're gonna make sure that he can maintain stability of his lifestyle because you've changed it. You elevated. You're on TV. You're rich. You're a rapper.
That's
We don't
why
know
I
what he
think
does.
she's just basing this love off of the D, because why would you want to take care of a man anyway? And we'll get back to these two because we're gonna move on, but I don't understand why you want to take care of a man. I don't want to take care of a man. I don't care if my man's watching. I ain't taking care of no nigga. I don't care. I'll be damned. I'm not. But okay, Trina. Now, Zoe and her little boyfriend at home, I'll say boyfriend forward slash manager. And basically, Zoe wants her man to help her cook. She's cooking dinner, and I'm just like, every time we see Zoe cook, you see all these little Tupperware dishes on the hot stove, plastic. And I'm looking like, what is that for? What is that? Why do you have so much stuff in different
I
dishes?
mean, she ain't been on TV long enough to get her paper up. Some people don't, and then she's young. Some people don't know you have to have good cookware. Like, I didn't know. I'm old.
I
So
don't think
I
it's
know.
even about the cookware. I was just like, why do you have so much that you're using at one time? She said, he asked what she was cooking. She said some vegetables and chicken breast. She had some sauce in one container here, some seasonings in another container there. She was rolling something up. Something was boiling on high on the stove. It needed to be
Yeah, I didn't know
turned
what that
down to
was.
medium. I said, wait, what are you, huh? What's going on here? So I was just looking like, Zoe, stop cooking on camera because you don't know what you're doing, and that's okay. That's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I got other stuff I can say, but I won't. Now, she's it's the truth. I'm just I'm, you. I'm gonna be good,
Now,
y'all.
and let me stop. Let me stop.
I'm gonna be good. Now she's talking to her man while she's cooking the food, and he's mentioning deadlines about stuff because he's her manager, and he's like, "You ain't sent this. We have a deadline. You ain't done this. We got a deadline." And it showed me two things. I was like, "Yes, it is difficult to be in a relationship with someone you work with to any capacity is difficult. But it also showed me maybe this is why Big D was thinking you was BSing and your other manager didn't work out. It seemed like you not the best with deadlines and responsibilities. That's just what I got. But her dude was not rude to her. She was homeless. She's living in his house and she starts going off on him because she's cooking food and she wants him to cook dinner as well. And not when all she had to say is, I don't want to talk about work right now, but I promise to look at that in the morning or something. She immediately went from 0 to 100 and flipped out on him. Um, she claims she wants to move out. Bitch, to move out. Like, I'm not doing this. Zoe, you are wrong. You asked him to step in. He stepped in. He's doing a good job as your manager. And now you want to move out because he's getting on your nerves and you got a little bit of money.
I don't know. I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50 because I understand what you're saying and I agree. But then at the other terms, we have to learn how to turn that off. And what I mean by turn that off, meaning if we're going to work together, there needs to be a time schedule where we talk about business. Those emails can wait till the next morning. I am sure it's late at night. We ain't got to answer that right now. And then there should be some personal time, which is why I would never mess with someone I work with or in business with. We're going to keep that as separate as possible because I don't need you to say, hey, James, you didn't respond to this email. Or, hey, James, so-and-so needs you to make a phone call. So-and-so going to wait in that email can too. What are we doing? So I don't know. I kind of feel like this was a bad
Express
idea.
yourself properly. If you need that time with your partner away from discussing business, then tell him that. Do not bitch at him about.
And that's where I'm 50. And that's where I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. Like, to me, she's handling it in the most immature way she can.
But
Absolutely.
that's Zoe. That's Zoe. She threw a fit about her performance, went on stage, acted a fool, threw a fit with Big
Right.
D. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just what it is. It's just
So
what
it
it
was
is.
just you're not. I don't think she's much. I don't think she's mature enough to really have a relationship that comes with this much stipulations. And what I mean by stipulations is him being her manager and him booking because clearly he's on business mode. He got the laptop in his lap and everything. So clearly he's going to always be on business mode, and you need someone that can balance that. I need to make sure after I do work and everything, and after I cook, you in there running my bath water. Like I need to make sure that I just need to make sure certain things are done. That way, I know that it is equal balance. At least do something. That's all I'm
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
saying.
Now we got to go to the foolery again. One more foolery.
Oh,
Or Flo goes to meet with Gael. Gael apologizes again and they back cool. Eliza's words were ringing in my head again at this scene because Flo was not talking to Gael because she slept with her other girlfriend. Now she's going to talk to her because she need Gael to back her up because she started all this shit with these women. That's what I got from it. Because Gael apologizes, they get back cool, and then Flo immediately tells her what happened with Amada. But Flo once again left out the fact that she started it in terms of the physicalness by throwing a drink and the glass at Amada. And anything Amada did was her responded to what she did. If you hit somebody, if you throw a drink on somebody, if you spit at somebody, expect to get for them to take off on you. That's just how I feel. But Flo's gonna paint herself innocent, proving Eliza's point. And Gael already is like, I'm going to defend my family. Gael,
yeah, yeah.
you defend your family after spreading it wide and dropping it
I
low.
was going to say, where was the defending the family when you was sleeping with her husband and her side alleged girlfriend?
I just
Where was
can't.
the defending the family then? I don't want to
Gael,
hear the words "hurt" and "family" should never come out of her mouth.
this family is
They're weird. They're just strange. It's just
shameful.
like
It's
now,
very
now,
strange.
y'all. I've lived in South Florida. Like I ain't never heard of this at all. Crazy.
Now, we did see Zoe meet with her sister Bianca. Um, her sister Bianca needs to get some sleep. She had bags under her eyes so heavy that I thought she had high cheekbones, and it was not that. She looked tired. I
I
understand. We
almost said
can't.
your government name on this line.
That's okay. Listen, she looked tired as hell. I said, "What is going on?" I knew something was coming.
Oh,
I said,
not
"What
you
in the
said
world?"
you thought them bags was high cheap.
Let me tell you this, that girl got a sister that does hair and makeup professionally. You could buy an Airbnb, but you couldn't help your sister with hair and makeup.
No, because
I'm
I'm
not
just
even
picturing it. 'Cause she had that thing over her braids, and then she.
came on. I said, "What is going on?" Now, uh, I'm trying to be good, y'all. I've been off for a few days. I don't know how to act. Professional me is gone. But
Let's go. I get it, cause Fred, you got to do all that cooking, and you just. I get it, Fred. I do. I get it, cause you just going in. Damn.
they keep texting me, "I'm so excited for your food." Nigga, leave me alone. What you gonna cook? He can't barely peel a potato. But Lord, where was I? So her sister basically lets it out the bag to Zoe that she is talking to Fabo, who is Shay's baby daddy, someone else's husband, someone else's fiance, and guy who drives someone else's Tesla. And basically, Zoe comments about Shay and the dude being together, and how they started talking. Her sister reveals that last season, something with the dog that he had made a comment about Shay's dog that the mom was talking about, and her dumbass sister Bianca commented, "Dogs have feelings too." They do. I used to train dogs, y'all, so I love dogs, but too. But that, why were you on the internet
Why don't
commenting
you
on a
want to
damn
comment
dog?
and you know this is too close for comfort?
Right, your
Yeah,
sister
like
is
I
on
don't
this show.
understand this. Yeah, I don't understand this. It's giving you trying to be on TV too.
Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth because while Fabo, I'm not surprised that Fabo talking to the sister
Me
is cool.
either. That
I'm not
wasn't a
surprised.
surprise to me
The
at
only
all.
person I think that Fabo takes his relationship seriously is Shay. And that's a
Yeah,
fact.
it makes me wonder, and it also makes me wonder what his wife and the fiance look like because that girl kind of favored Shay to me as well.
Damn.
So I was kind of like, what does your wife? Because you must have a type.
Mm, a hot mess. This the hot mess. So Fabo slid in her DMs after she commented on him, talking about the dog and all of this. And she says they developed a 1 year relationship. Now, the sister clearly wants to be on TV and is not innocent because you saw him commenting on that and disrespecting his mother in law and all of these things. The sister says that Fabo told him that all of that was for TV and it's not real, an excuse that's now been used for many years on reality TV. I'm telling you, the sister knew what she was doing. So they've been sleeping together, all of this. And Zoe lets her know, like, nah, he publicly with Shay in a relationship. Mind you, Zoe and Shay don't even mess with each other like that. They don't got beef, but they're not really close. Shay doesn't integrate with the cast well, in my opinion. So I'm just kind of like, okay. So we gonna come back to the sister. Is there anything you want to add about the sister? Because I'm
No,
just like,
not at
we know,
all.
yeah, we know Fabo ain't shit, so we ain't surprised. But I'm just looking at the sister like you trying to play like you innocent, sis, but you knew what you was doing. You watched that man with someone else. Watch that man mistreat someone else. Fixed yourself to comment on a post about him. He slid into your DMs and you thought it was all gonna be daffodils and dandelions? No. Something wrong with Zoe's sister. She want to be put on. She needs to get a good night's rest first, though. I stand by what I stand by. So Flo's grand opening comes. She's opening another. It's not a spot. Looks like she's trying to promote health and wellness, even though she's not in shape herself without
I
the
was like, well,
lipo.
is it a juice bar? What is it?
I know she has Shay's the healthy hand there. Now Shay's built business is legit. She's got $1 million business. She
Right.
works hard on and off camera, and she'd probably be okay without the show. Uh, but outside of Shay's stuff in the store, I don't quite know what Flo is doing, and I wouldn't want to go to Flo for any of this, but somebody is. But Eliza comes by with Estelita fighting for Amara. And I'm not going to get into that because I thought it was stupid. Estelita, you are so desperate to have a moment of relevancy on this show. And Amada is my friend. So two women who done slept with Amada's ex-boyfriend is ready to fight for her. That's my friend. If it was your friend, you would never sleep with their ex. Like I feel how I feel now. If it's like a situation like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, where it's an ex like Amy tripping out on Bambi for dating her ex from like 10, 12 years ago, like then I'm like, okay, fine, it's okay. It's been so much time, they don't really count no more. But come on, this was just last season that this was happening. So they came in there trying to defend the model looking like fools. Gael always goes low. And of course, she mentioned that girl's child. But Eliza didn't do nothing. So I'm like,
That was your opportunity right
right.
there. Because
She probably don't want to pop an implant.
maybe, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't get them if you know you're going to be on the show with women like her that's just going to say any loose thing that come out of her mouth, literally. And those are fighting words. I don't understand why you would think to, have that big old wagon in the back of your behind if you can't even, you just, when people fight, you don't need anything weighing you down. You just don't. And I just don't feel like this was so stupid.
It
And
really was.
Estelita, you are 50 years old. I need you to stop doing this. I need you to get off TV because we didn't know you was in Atlanta.
Nope.
I feel like she went up to New York at one point, if I'm not
Probably.
mistaken. Wasn't
Probably.
she in New York with Erica, or she went back to Atlanta with Erica? It was one of the things she was with Erica. I remember she was with Erica. Now you in Miami. It's like Estelita.
And you still not a main cast member. Stay
Still,
where you at.
the only reason why we know you is because I'll never forget Ford's Rocks was calling her everything but her name. I think we got that from Carly Rae because then Carly Rae said her name was Empanada.
I can't. An
Yeah,
empanada
that's
sounds so good right now too.
right.
Uh Now Trina and Swerve, her husband, they made a song together. Trina, I regret to inform you that your husband cannot rap. His flow is terrible, the cadence is lacking, and his writing was simple. And Trina's a really good rapper when she wants to be. The song was strange. I don't see a connection between Trina and Swerve outside of sex. I think Trina's stigmatized right now, and that's okay. It's not okay for her legacy income wise, but okay. So it turns out nobody knows anything about Swerve, and we learned this because Snoop is at the shoot and he pulls Swerve to the side, and you could tell that Swerve didn't even have much to say to Snoop. You could tell he's so much younger, but the dude just seemed off. He would not answer any questions about himself, not even for Trina's blood brother. And he also reveals, like, yeah, we married, so I don't even gotta like worry about that. We locked in for life. Whenever somebody refers to marriage as, yeah, we locked in for life, I don't trust you. You start to sound ignorant. You start to sound young minded. That's not just what marriage is about. If your wife's brother comes up to you saying, hey, we don't know much about you, asking you all sorts of questions, especially when you're on camera, the very least you could do is try to entertain it versus deflect. What is so special about you that you got to keep shit a secret? Because without Trina, we really don't give a damn. So you may as well just tell us. You're not putting an element of mystery up. You're going to cause and impact your female's career.
Well, and then you have to look at it from her brother's point of view as well. We don't know you. And that's my
Right.
sister at the end of the day. Like my sister couldn't go get married and then I'm not a part of that. Like, and vice versa. I can't get married and then my family's not a part of that or did not know my spouse. Like it just never will happen that way. So for it to happen that way, and then you feel some kind of way because he's asking you questions that I felt were,
Reasonable.
logical. Yeah, it
He
wasn't
wasn't
like it
asking you
was
like, what's the last four of your social? He's like,
right.
what did you do before you got with my
Do you
sister?
know
Oh,
your
I
bank
don't have
balance
to
off the
worry
top of
about
your
that.
head? Or like it wasn't like he was asking like impersonal questions. He was asking questions that he needs to know. And I'm sure somewhere they just probably cut it out. What's your family like? Are you close with your family? Do you have any siblings, brothers, sisters? I'm sure he asked those questions as well. So it's like, I don't the fact that he was just so defensive means that what
He
people are
hiding
saying may be
something.
right.
He's hiding something. Something's wrong. And Trina, you may be able to talk a mile a minute and go off on your castmates, but the fans is going to now be looking at him like he's crazy. You've been on this show for seasons going off on people when you don't get your way. Now you're going to have to answer to the audience because it looks weird. And I don't take the marriage seriously if you can't disclose certain things from one married woman to the next. Um, the last thing we see you guys at this episode is Flo's grand opening. She tells Shay again of Amara La Negra and how innocent she is when she telling whoever will listen, Amara hit me, not telling them that she hit Amara also. Now we see Bobby come in and MJ comes in with that stupid ass hat. And basically MJ is like, Fabo is wrong. And Shay felt the way when MJ said that his mom comes first because she tries to get him and he's like, no, that's our mother. Like, what is wrong with you? And you could tell in Shay's face that she was like, oh, I look stupid. That is my mom. He kind of made me look crazy on camera. Like you could see in her face that Shay is aware that she is wrong. But for whatever reason, she gonna defend her man. So before her and MJ can finish their little discussion, Zoe Brinks comes and pulls Shay aside. And not just the side, she pulls her out the building and outside, which was smart. And I actually respected Zoe for that because if you don't know somebody like that, but you got to confront them about something super personal, do it away from everybody else so they know that you're not just trying to start some shit. So I think Zoe went about it the right way. But the episode ends with Zoe telling Shay what's been going on with Fabo and her sister. And we also got a little excerpt. She had a pregnancy test her sister gave her, and her sister is pregnant. And Shay was speechless in that moment because this woman pulled you aside respectfully. This woman has pulled you aside privately. You don't know each other like that off camera, so she can't just call you off camera to talk with you about this. So she did it where she could. So Shay, I'm curious to see how she's going to respond once her mouth closes because
Well, how I know that's even Fable, baby. Like, you know your sister?
I
I
don't
can just,
even know you.
like, I don't even know you. And Fable ain't he been with me every night. Every night he eat it. Every night. I already know how this gonna go. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, ain't nobody got time for this. Zoe, you wasted your time. You just I get that's your sister. Like, I get it. That's her sister, and they
Her
are
sister
co-workers.
wrong though. Her
Yeah, they
sister is
are co.
wrong.
No, her sister is wrong because you shouldn't even have got involved with him.
You
But
know this
at the
man
end of the
belongs to
day,
somebody else.
they're co-workers, so of course they have to have this scene. But I would let my sister fall on her own sword. Now, what she's
Yeah.
gonna do is whoop her ass on TV. That's not gonna happen. But what I'm saying is like, I'm not gonna be involved in that. Like, I'm on this show to make money, not over here to worry about somebody else's man or lack thereof and whether or not he's my sister. It's just not gonna happen. But
I'm like, is this the sister that was in school that we saw? Like the
right?
first
Is this the
episode?
is
Like,
this the smart?
what is
I have to
going
go back and
on?
look at that. I don't remember.
I don't feel bad for the sister. I do not feel bad for Fabo. I do not feel bad for Shay. The sister knew she was getting with somebody who was unavailable. The fucking Fabo ain't shit. And as for Shay, you chose to take him back after so much and you let him disrespect your mama. So I put nothing past you. So I don't feel bad for none of them involved, but she still was treated with respect. But that is all that happened this episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami, season 6, episode 2, Stand on Business. Uh Anybody who's cooking tomorrow, I hope that you stand on business. To everybody who celebrates Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it as a time to be thankful for your loved ones because the actual real Thanksgiving that happened, they did my Native Americans shady. I'm just saying, they did the indigenous people shady. But as for the holiday, I hope that everybody enjoys. We're going to end this live and head into our Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. But I hope that you guys do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next live. Adios.